Merry Christmas. This is gonna be way in advance. So when this airs, Christmas is gonna be long over. So it's Christmas weekend, here we are, and a couple of the series are, say, kind of colliding still. We're almost done. Actually, the Xform series is wrapping up today, which is fantastic, because in the end, it's all about what I said, not really so much what time or day it is. Go over kind of what we're doing in Xform, maybe explain some of the differences, because I think it's gonna be a little bit confusing for those who are, say, new or trying to follow all of them at the same time. It's something I have to think about a lot, and so it's not stressful. It's something I enjoy. I'm passionate about making this because I think it's gonna make a difference for people. And I think there's some people out there that just wanna know what it's like, how to change, how to start. And first and foremost, Xform was not about losing weight. So we're still at the same weight. Weight loss isn't my starting point. So there's kind of a couple differences there. So it's to start changing habits. That's what Xform is all about. Xform is about, say, creating a new lifestyle or starting a whole new, say, life path. Weight loss is just one factor in that. There's a lot of other things going on that I'm going to talk about, which makes Xform kind of unique. Kind of one of the reasons I had to do multiple, say, cuts of this, because there's different approaches, and I'm a firm believer in different approaches just because we're all different and we're all in different stages. Ultimately, it kind of depends on your goals, right? And where you're at. This is Christmas weekend, so I don't necessarily know that I'm gonna have weight loss for even the third week in a row. I don't think I'll be up, but I definitely won't be down if I say eat too much this weekend. Now, am I gonna not eat cookies and try and get that scale weight? Probably not, because that's not my habit right now. It was putting on this. It was getting my calorie tracking back. This is an advantage to me, and this was my focus this week, is to make sure I got my app downloaded. I started wearing it. I have some mic issues, so I'm not sure how that's all gonna come out. If we have to fix it, we'll fix it. Share communication. It's actually, oh my gosh, I do not have my mic on. I read or saw the other day was about, oh, the no carbs. You know, you need to make sure to remove all the breads and pastas, and you're gonna feel amazing. Yeah, so here's the thing about that. I've done low carb, and removing carbs are very, you know, making them very minimal. Yes, it helped me lose weight. I did look a lot leaner, but it brought some bad things for me. So number one, brought in muscle dysmorphia, which is something you can go look up. Lost a lot of strength, mood, there's a lot of, it's a long conversation. But I just, because of the lack of carbs, I just looked skinny. I'd look in the mirror and people would say, you look sick, you look scrawny. So yeah, that was a bad thing out of it. Also, I was building an eating disorder now because I had removed a macro. Anytime I was at a function, you know, it became this discussion of why I don't eat carbs, or people noticing, and it became, it's a bad way to live life. I love talking about food and fitness. I just know people don't like hearing about it all the time. So there's just times where if I get started, I'll just, and on I go for hours. So really, the purpose of Xform is just to get you started. You can remove a habit, you can add a habit, you can substitute habits. Let's go ahead and cap off Xform, tell you how that went, some of the struggles, some of the successes. So pretty much we started with alcohol, and it was one of those things, well, since I'm not doing alcohol, and since it's been pretty much almost 8 weeks at this point, I have my other things I use. And so I think I've talked about this, especially in other series. I have my energy drink here. I just picked whatever was on sale, and I got this Coke Zero Cherry Vanilla. So I'll usually pop this one with some crushed ice, just have this one alone, and that's pretty much it. I kind of use a substitute. Get together tonight, since it is Christmas, we're having food, friends, family. I'm gonna watch the kids open presents. So in the past, it'd be something where I'd have a beer or two and just kind of hang out, as an adult, and especially as a dad, socks and underwear, right? That's pretty much the gift. Even though I stopped, let's say I quit alcohol, one of the things that happened is once I removed it, I started losing a little bit of weight. So I had to make up for that in calories just to keep the weight up for the apocalypse diet. So it was something that I was getting a reward kind of by losing the weight. And I know that's with some people when the beginning of the year starts, when you remove alcohol or something like this and it causes you to overeat, you're definitely gonna start seeing some big drops right out of the gate, and I hear that a lot, and it happens for me. So that happened. Not even a little bit tempted right now because I'm already coming up on 2 months, and so really that's 1/3 of the way to my 6-month goal. And when you're seeing this, it's obviously gonna be like, wow, that was fast. And really, it's been kind of long in the process of going on vacation without alcohol, you know, some of these celebrations, and now it's to the point where having it around, I'm not really bothered so much. And as a matter of fact, I had to go shoot overlay for alcohol, you know, being in the liquor store and being at the grocery store, just for, you know, to make the videos a little bit more interesting for that segment. The second one was that I changed. It was an obsession, and it could be whatever. It was just something that it's been around for a while. It was something that my life kind of revolved around a little bit. You know, it got a little out of control, and so in an obsession, that was kind of one of the things I decided to do, even though using this stuff, in my opinion, you know, to help you succeed in your nutrition is a great thing. Becoming on the extreme side is where it kind of can bite you. So rather than just saying, you know what, back it down, I decided to get rid of it for 30 days, see what happened. I'm all about experimenting. And after going for, it was over 3 years, first it was really difficult to let go of the food scale. I'm just so used to using it. It was something that I didn't think it would be that hard. I thought it was like, no big deal, food scale. I already know what, you know, portions look like, but it was difficult. In the end, I kind of settled on doing it 3 times a day. I log in the morning, I log midday, and I log at the end of the day, and that's it. And I don't spend any other time in there. And that's where I'm at on that right now.
And I think that's probably gonna be, let's say, the most beneficial. As I get deeper into, say, the Xform series and really start focusing on, you know, nutrition and getting, you know, these habits, say, more ingrained and a little bit deeper, I will for sure, let's say, be using it in the beginning of the week and loading days on end up front. But for right now, I'm just doing it day to day, building the habit slow. And if anything, it's a great example of how most people struggle to get started, right? Is, oh, I got to do it every day. I got to scan, scan, scan. It's kind of inconvenient. For me, it became an obsession, so it didn't work in that sense. So I just, you know, I'm always scanning foods and always, you know, adding recipes. So that was one of those things for me. Like I said, unhealthy. There's a ton of other things you can obsess over, whether it's eating too many vegetables, eating, you know, whatever. It's like really balance is going to be best. And I'm a firm believer in that. I got to mention is taking the calorie track route. And so I just got this thing back recently.
Gotta admit, it's pretty awkward having, this is heavier. This watch is kind of it's been light, it's a Garmin. I'm not really using it for calories because it's not correct. And overall, I like it because it has GPS for my walks, for my runs, and I haven't been using those functions. I just pretty much use it for the time. Late night binging, you know, eating snacks, and versus I was supposed to, you know, focus more on sleep. How did that go? Well, and this is Benadryl. I don't recommend taking this to go to sleep. I usually take one, you know, if I need to. Like right now I'm out of melatonin, so I'm not a doctor. I'm not telling you to do this. I'm just saying it's what I did and what I do sometimes if I can't fall asleep right away. So sleep has been going great, and I'm curious to see how this thing's been getting my sleep, but definitely been getting 7 to 8 hours a night, prioritizing it. There's some nights, you know, I'm not perfect. It's been, say, a little bit, I'll stay up a little bit later, and I notice when I stay up later, then I tend to kind of want to snack a little bit more. So they're kind of associated in some senses. Binging is still a hard one for me. I'm still eating a lot of calories at night. As a matter of fact, we got these bad boys as an example of how that's going. These are cookies, Costco cookies. I had a lot last night. It was probably about 15 cookies. That's why this thing's a lot lower. As a matter of fact, today, my family has cooked up some fresh chocolate chip cookies. They made these Hershey cookies. Oh man, it smells so good. I love cookies. So it's one of those ones. Binging is something that even though I'm going to bed earlier, and I did go to bed at 9:30 last night, I still had a lot of cookies before I went to bed. Not too bright. It's something I'm gonna be continuing to work on that habit for the next 6 months. And it's for sure is the next 3 months, because as I finish these series, I can't be eating cookies late at night, especially when I'm trying to get, say, lean or lose more weight. These are gonna prevent me from getting my goals, and therefore there'll just be times I keep this stuff out of the house. But it's the holiday season, right? It's Christmas, and so why not have some cookies? Cookies are good. Pretty much in terms of Xform, the last thing on Xform was my nutrient density, increasing it. So we kind of started with, you know, apocalypse diet, a lot of, you know, sugary drinks, some candies. I used, say, beer in the beginning, and then I had to take that out, you know, when I removed it. But yeah, a lot of high calorie dense foods. So just going from just this, it was the opposite. The apocalypse diet was the opposite of how I like to say diet and eat, it was all high calorie dense foods and no protein. It's just like a lot of carbs and fats. Not that those are bad, they're just easy to get calories, and protein tends to fill me up. So but yeah, I had to start moving away from this. I didn't ditch it because I'm still having obviously cookies and things. So I'm trying to work on that balance. Right now is about, well, yesterday, if you balance out over the week, I'm not doing terrible, maybe 65-ish% is nutrient dense. And then so obviously, so this is my burrito. And so this is kind of the way I've been moving, is getting back into my meal prep trays. You know, we got some, it's avocado on there, it's a carb chopper. We got some egg whites, an egg in there, a little bit of cheese, green chili, mushrooms. So good little burrito, probably around 400 calories, you know, because the avocado is gonna add a little more fat, and the cheese too. But to me, it's something that I'm gonna feel good after eating, after I don't feel like garbage. So, and then I've been doing, right now, pretty much I'm at about 4 meals a day. You know, I really need to get back to the 6 to 7 and, you know, just dedicated meals, and I'll get there at some point. And I'm not in a rush, because remember, Xform is not about weight loss. It's about changing a lifestyle. So I'm kind of working this slow and just kind of thinking it through and taking my time. See if there's anything I want to be, you know, do different this time than I did last year. So we'll get to eat this soon. I'm looking forward to that. Okay. So that's pretty much Xform, and that's how it went. And those habits, some of them, like I said, I'm still working on. Some of them have gone well, and some of them are not that well. So binge eating is a great example. This is something I struggle with. So I've always struggled with, and I've talked about it in other videos. So now that Xform is all said and done, I can just focus on the Xform series and kind of finishing it up and just taking you along that journey and just show you, you know, what's going on in that process, a little more detailed. You can see a little more of every day. Now that I have a little more free time to do it, because there's something that's extremely difficult to do, is filming 3 different paths and keep my physique. Let's stop that there and move on to what Xform is doing for me right now. I have a little bit of off time. It's kind of quiet in here. So I'm gonna go ahead and do some quick meal prep, get ahead of the game. This is gonna be one of my fighters to say, deter hunger. Make sure I stay planned and prepared. So I'm gonna go ahead and make, it's actually 10 of these. They're breakfast burritos, and I'm just kind of throwing some stuff together. I'm gonna do the MyFitnessPal, get the calories. I'm gonna whip this up super fast. It usually takes, I don't know, 15 minutes-ish. And then I'll have 6 burritos ready to go, and I'll pop 4 in the freezer. And you know, on days when I'm, you know, kind of craving something, I can go to those freezers and have one of those, then say a bag of chips, or you know, candy, all cookies. Those are the things that are going to keep me eating and eating and eating. So we're pretty much going to use these carb choppers here. They're 70 calories a piece. Yeah, they're rather than the, you know, normal 140 on a tortilla. This is just some red chili that I'm going to put on top to kind of give it that kind of smothered effect. We got some eggs, egg whites, some chopped mushrooms, some green chilies, some onions. We're going to put some ham in here, cut it up into little dices. And then we got some, this is cauliflower rice. And so this stuff, I think it's like 50 calories for that bag, or 70, it doesn't matter, it's really not that much. So, and then we're just gonna pop it in here, sizzle it up, pop it in the trays, and put it away. That's it. So let's go ahead and see how fast we can do this, and then, yeah. This is something I highly recommend incorporating. It's just starting with, you know, trying one meal, something different, something that you like. To me, I put a lot of veggies in just because it gives it more volume, more flavor, but you can do these however you want. So this is kind of random, but we'll go through these ingredients really quick. One of the ways I can fight, say, the eating late at night, and it's something I'm gonna be doing as I close down Xform, and especially in Qform, is having foods that are very high in nutrition, that are gonna be lower in calories. And there's a lot of little hacks and tricks that I'll show you as I go through that series. That's gonna be something I kind of just point out every day, the little tips and tricks I'm doing to, you know, kind of survive, let's say, because I will be hungry at some point. When you go through a high calorie deficit and you do it days on end, weeks on end, the body starts to fight back. Grumpiness, anger, fogginess, there's just so many things that come into play. But I will lose a lot of weight really quickly. It's kind of let's just say the reason I'm doing it is because really to just show people that this is why we don't want to do a high calorie deficit, because that's some of the things that can happen. And I'm just going to do what I can to make the deficit as high as possible, to lose as much as I can in a 30-ish days kind of window. and then really at the end try and see if I can get my body to look very different than when I first started. So yeah, that's gonna do it for this one. So maybe it'll help you and to where your calorie deficit's not as bad and not as hard to manage. That's it for this one. Take care. Till the next one. Peace out.